Hey, this is Tuhon Aditya from LightHaven. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a couple of ways, a couple of combinations that you can use after a drawing cut. Now, the way a drawing cut is done in different martial arts really depends on the kind of weapon you're using and the context in which you might have to use that weapon. So I'm not going to be doing a drawing cut in the Japanese fashion where you're cutting almost like you're drawing as you draw the sword in that arc motion. It's based off a redondo where you're looking to draw the sword out, cut down. So I'm going to be sharing with you a couple of combinations that you can do after this drawing cut. I do have a separate video, a whole separate video on just the drawing cut. I'm going to leave that in a link in the description down below. Before we begin, though, it will mean a lot if you subscribe to the channel. At the end of the video, if you like what you saw, if you learned from what you saw, please do like and share this video. If you have anything to add to the discussion, if you have your own combinations you like to do, if you have seen this sort of cut before, or if you have other versions of doing a drawing cut, please leave that in the comments down below. If you have any requests for future videos or questions, please also leave that in the comments down below. All of these things really do help out the school and the channel a lot. Our residential program is up and running, our online class is up and running. To register for either of them, check out the links I'm going to leave down below or email us through the email address I'm going to leave down below. So let's just go over the basic mechanics of this drawing cut first. So the sword is going to be round about your hip level. You're going to first turn the blade to the side. This is going to make it easier for you to hit as you draw and then cut after that. You're going to imagine someone is in front of you, close range, and as you're drawing, you're imagining that you're hitting them in the face and then stepping back to cut. The step back is also what's going to fully unsheath the sword or fully draw the sword. So both steps are important. So whenever you add the combinations post this, make sure that these steps are still clear and crisp and are separate, and you don't just sort of mix and mash everything together. You want each movement to be clear, clean, and you want to smoothen the transitions between all of them rather than rush through everything. So I'm imagining my opponent is in front of me. From here, I'm going to, as I draw my sword, I'm going to be looking to hit them with the punyo. So hit. Now you can sidestep as you hit, or you can just hit from here. If you sidestep, your hip will give you a little bit more power. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit in front of me. From here, as you can see, the sword is still in the scabbard. I'm going to step back with this leg. As I step back, I'm going to take the scabbard with me, and that's going to unsheath the rest of the sword. Now, depending upon the height of your opponent or how far he is, just this step itself might unsheath the sword. But from here, I'm still going to step back because I want to create some range between me and him as I go for that cut. So I'm going to step back and I'm going to cut. So whether you're using the step back to unsheath and cut, or you're unsheathing the sword immediately with that punyo hit and then stepping back and cut, both ways work. Now let's start the first combination, or the first set of follow-up strikes that you can do from this drawing cut. Once again, you're assuming your opponent is close range in front of you. You're going to turn that blade to the side as you draw and sidestep. I'm going to step back with the cut. Now the next strike is going to be common for all three combinations, which is going to be an angle 2 or a horizontal cut, but it's going to be a high backhand. Now I want this high backhand because in case he is looking to draw his sword or he's looking to do some sort of counter attack, you want something that's going across his body to check his hands in case they're about to do something. Otherwise, you're looking to hit him. So you want that backhand that's going across his body, whether it's going horizontal, whether it's going diagonal. You want that backhand, and you want a high backhand because again, if he's looking to draw his sword, or if his hands are going for any sort of other weapon, or he's going to engage you, you want to be able to hit either those hands or a more vital target. Now, the follow-up combination is something that I have shown before, I have taught before. It was first shown to me when it was used against me actually in a full contact stick fight, but it will work really well in a blade context as well, especially when you're trying to switch ranges from close range to something a bit longer. So I'm going to draw and strike, step back and cut, do that horizontal cut or the angle 2 cut. Now, as I'm going to do this, I'm going to step forward and I'm going to push my opponent back. From here, I'm going to step back, cut all the way through. If the scabbard is stuck to your hip, is tied to your hip, then you're going to have your hand free to do that push. Otherwise, you can do it with the scabbard as well. What you're basically looking to do is push their head back so that they have to take a step back. That's going to give you more range and more power as you step back and look to do that really big cut through. I'm going to step, hit as I draw, step back as I cut, angle 2, step forward, push them back, step back, angle 1 all the way through. Couple of things to watch out for is that the initial punyo strike is to the face. So if you don't have a target in front of you, as a reference point, you can use your own face as that level to strike in front of your own face, cutting down. The second push is also to the face, to the head. You want to rock him back, you want to push him back. It can also be to the chest. Really depends on the height of your opponent, the distance he is, the distance he is from you. I found that push to the forehand really works well when you're trying to make someone take a step back. So if possible, that cutting through, push, cut through. The next combination, we're going to be switching levels a bit. We're going to be going high, low, and then high again. And we're going to be using our footwork a little bit more to be creating range and also to be entering a little bit more with a little bit more structure and force. So from here, I'm going to draw and hit in the same way, step back, cut in the same way. I'm going to step across and hit in the same way, except I'm not going to step forward behind that cut anymore. I'm going to cut. From here, I'm going to step 90 or 45, depending on what my opponent is doing or how far he has gone. And I'm going to cut across those legs. From here, I'm going to look to step in 45 degrees behind an angle 2. And this angle 2 can be a broken strike, it can be a fluid strike, but it's going to be followed up by another angle 2. So from here, I'm going to step, hit, step back and cut across, step across, cut those legs, step in with that broken, and cut with that, finish with that fluid. Hit, step back, cut, cut across, step across, cut those legs, step in with an angle 2. If you're going to do a broken, then make sure the broken is an angle 2 and not a horizontal. The broken can be, again, I'm looking to go across his body to check in case he's taking his sword out or attacking. I'm looking to hit that hand with that broken strike and then finish with that fluid strike. It can be a diagonal broken, horizontal fluid, a diagonal broken, diagonal fluid, or it can just be fluid, circular, fluid, angle 2. From the side ones, and if you want, you can add one more angle 1, because that's going to bring you back to your scabbard side. You also want to make sure that you are not sidestepping before you draw, because that will alert your opponent to the fact that you're about to draw or do something. You're about to draw your sword or about to do something. So you want to draw and sidestep together. One more thing to make sure about is that when you're stepping in you step across, cut those legs, you're stepping in with that angle 2. Don't step in first and then do the angle 2. Don't do the angle 2 and then step in. You're stepping in together, almost like you're crashing. You're putting as much of your body mass, body weight behind the edge of the blade, almost crashing in and then cutting through. in the third combination, we're going to add in a thrust there. The footwork is going to be similar to the second one, but now we're going to be adding a thrust as we enter. So I'm going to sidestep, hit, step back and cut across, step across, cut low to those legs. As I step in though now, I'm going to have that reverse thrust. Now you have two options for what to do with a reverse thrust. Either you thrust through, slash back, or you thrust and slash circular, or thrust and slash, come back with a big angle one slash. I'm going to sidestep and hit, cut, cut across, cut those legs, step in with that thrust, step back with the angle one cut. Or thrust and slash, slash. Or one more variation you can do, hit, step back, cut across, cut those legs, thrust and slash, one more slash, one more angle two slash circular, and then step back with that angle one slash. Now remember, like in the previous one where you stepped into that angle two slash, here you're going to step into that reverse thrust. You want to put your body weight behind the tip of your sword. So hit, side step, cut across, cut those legs. I'm going to step in, coordinate that step in with that thrust. So whether I'm looking to thrust through or I'm looking to go thrust and slash, I want to put my body weight behind the tip of my weapon. Thrust through, and then as I'm going to step back, that's where the power for that angle one slash is going to come. One last tip as to how to train this, it always helps to have a fixed reference point. This will really help you calibrate your footwork. It will really help you calibrate the amount of extension you need in order to complete the strike. So let's just go through all of them with the tree as a partner. I'm standing close. I'm going to step and hit. This is going to show me how much extension I need depending on the range I'm at. So I'm step and hit. I'm going to step back, cut through, push, step back, cut through. That was the first one. One more time. Side step and hit, step back, cut, angle two cut. As I step forward to push, push, angle one cut through. Combination number two, side step and hit, step back as I cut through that angle two. Now I'm going to step off. I want to step off center line and cut low. From here I'm going to step back in, broken, fluid. And if you want, you can add one more angle one in there, so you can come back to your scabbard side. So this will tell you how wide a step to take. Do I want to take a 45-degree step? Do I want to take a 90-degree step? And from here, whichever combination, whether it's the slash or the thrust, you know how much you need to step back in order to make effective contact with your opponent. So I've stepped off with that low slash, come back on with that broken slash, fluid, I can step back with the angle one. So I start from here, and using my footwork, I end up sort of off center line and behind his, outside of his shoulders, behind his weapon hand. The third one is going to be similar, except for that stepping in, we're not stepping in with the slash, we're going to step in with that thrust. As you can see in this one, I'm using that thrust almost to pick up. Maybe he's giving me a backhand strike or some sort of strike. I'm using that thrust to pick up that strike and then slash that neck and then come back. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, if you learned from what you saw, please do like and share this video. Please do subscribe to the channel. If you have anything to add to the discussion, leave that in the comments down below. If you have any questions or requests for future videos, please also leave that in the comments down below. We try and reply to every single comment or every single request that you guys have. Like I said earlier, our residential program is up and running, our online class is up and running. To train with us either in Goa or wherever you are in the world, check out the links I'm going to leave down below or email us through the email address I'm going to leave down below. Thank you guys so much for watching and see you in the next video.